Let's talk about how to properly tease and use callback humor to create a really powerful result the next time you're in interaction with a girl. All right, I'm gonna give you guys some easy applicable techniques you can start using today. And at the end of the video, I'm actually gonna break down some live infield interactions that I had and talk about all the different concepts, how I was able to utilize these to create a really powerful result. So watch this video in full, it's gonna be really good. But let's jump right into this. The first thing I wanna talk about is that when you're gonna start teasing and getting into more playful interactions with women, I think the easiest thing you could do is either disagree or you sarcastically agree with whatever she said. The problem with most dudes is when they're in a conversation and the girl says something, guys have a tendency of just saying, oh yeah, that's cool, or oh, no way, oh, you do that? I like to do this. Instead, you wanna break that and create a pattern interrupt by either sarcastically agreeing or playfully disagreeing. So by saying something like, oh, right, okay, yeah, okay, or just disagreeing, it naturally creates a little bit of back and forth, especially if you say it with the right emotion, with that playful energy. The girl's gonna have a tendency to fall into that frame and respond back with that energy. So that naturally will start to move things in a more teasing, playful, emotional direction. If you guys were to just start doing that one thing alone, it's already gonna create a more powerful result in your interactions. But I actually wanna get you guys to a point where you can give the girl a little bit of shit, start poking fun at her, start teasing her, and going even further than that. I'm gonna go into some examples in a little bit of how we're gonna do that. Let me break this down for you. I think one of the easiest ways is to take a concept, maybe something you observe about the girl, something you're giving her a little bit of shit about, or something you notice, and you exaggerate that concept. Okay, so example, one of my clients, we were just breaking down one of his interactions, and the girl pointed out that he was drinking water. My client, we just started going out a little bit. He doesn't like to drink. So he's out at the venue, he's talking to this girl, he's drinking a water, and he said, yeah, I'm just having a sober night. And the girl actually came back and said, oh, I'm having a sober night too. So you can take the concept of sobriety and exaggerate it, and that's what can actually make it funny. So my client came back and he said something like, oh, I guess I'm not gonna have to catch you from falling over later. And then the girl actually came back with a pretty witty response. She kind of took the joke and continued it on even more. And she said, yeah, you're not gonna have to like hold my hair back over the toilet or anything. Okay, so it's the same concept. We took the idea of sobriety and we exaggerated it into a further direction. Now, that alone is pretty powerful. If you guys can just take an observation about a girl, if she's being feisty or cocky or she does anything, and you can exaggerate it about the girl, whether it's in the positive or in the negative, that's already powerful. And I feel like that's a point where some guys can get to. They tease and they give the girl a little bit of shit, but you're leaving a lot of potential on the table if you just end it right there. And this is where the callback humor comes into play. Because most dudes, if you tease the girl or you point out something about the girl, if you were to bring up that concept later on in the interaction, it becomes even more powerful. And this is because using callback humor instantly creates an inside joke between you and the girl. Okay, it's something that only you and her will understand. So thus, it automatically creates a more powerful connection between you guys. And by the way, callback humor is also really powerful if you ever want to reopen the girl, whether it's later on that night or through text message later on. So callback humor is a great tool. So anytime that there is something relevant to the initial tease or joke that we made about the girl, it doesn't even need to be exact, but anytime there's something relevant, we can use the callback humor to make it really powerful. So example, earlier on we were joking that we may have to catch her from falling, or she said you're gonna have to hold my hair back, blah, 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 blah. Later on in the night, in the interaction, at some point, if the girl says, okay, cool, I'm just gonna go to the bathroom, I'll be right back. Well, think about it. We talked about sobriety, we talked about falling, we talked about hair back. I would say something like, okay, sounds good. Hey, do you need me to hold your hair? Are you okay? Right? So it's a callback joke that hits harder on an emotional level. Or if any time throughout the night, let's say the girl slipped or I slipped or somebody slipped or we were walking and she grabbed me or we abruptly moved over or we were gonna go down the stairs, anything, I could have callback humor to the fact that she's gonna fall and I have to catch her. Okay, so anytime that there's something somewhat relevant to a previous joke, you can bring it up again, even if it's not super exact. Okay, so you could use this anytime later on in the interaction and it creates a really powerful result. So let's talk about some recent examples that I actually did in the field and how I was able to get a really powerful result as well. So we had a couple girls come over to this apartment actually, what was it, 2-3 weeks ago at this point. And one of the girls came to the pregame. We're all hanging out. We're chilling. We were going to leave soon. And she said, Kyle, I'm really hungry. Do you have anything to eat by chance? Do you have any snacks? So I started opening the cabinets over here. And I'm looking through. And I'm seeing, I'm like, honestly, all we have is like a granola bar. Do you even want that? And she was like, And she came over by the cabinets by me. And then at some point, I opened up one of the other cabinets. And there was like a dog treat in a bag. All right. And the way I pulled it out, like slowly, she was like getting excited. And then when I handed it to her, like it was obvious, like I don't even think it registered to her like what I was handing to her. So she got like excited only to realize like it was actually a dog treat. But it was funny because the dog treat obviously isn't human food, it's exaggerated. Okay? And then here's how I used the callback humor later on. We were out at the venue and we're all hanging out, and on the floor we were moving over, and she pointed out to me, she was like, oh, watch out. Because she didn't want me to step. There was like an orange on the ground. I guess somebody took like an orange peel out of their drink and put it on the floor, and like it was right next to me. So she told me, watch out. And obviously she was just telling me that because she didn't want me to step in it, but I misinterpreted that as like she wanted the orange because she was still hungry. So as she said, watch out, I was like, damn, yo. I was like, you are hungry. I was like, yo, chill out. We'll get you some food after this. Relax. Okay? So I misinterpreted it, and I interpreted it as, damn, you really are hungry. And since it was delivered in the right way, later on in the night, it hit really, really powerful. So she started dying laughing. I was joking. At that point, I came in, I hugged her. I was like, you know, I'm just fucking with you, right? I'll just tease you, obviously. I'll give you guys another example of what happened. Same girl, actually. So it was later on in the night. She said, oh my God, this is so much fun. Like, I don't ever really go out like that, blah, 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 blah. I took that concept, and that turned into the idea that she doesn't go out, which thus she's a good girl, thus she's goody two-shoes girl, thus she doesn't go out because she needs to be at church on Sunday morning. So she's like church girl. Okay, so anytime later on that there was something relevant to a good behavior or a bad behavior, I started calling her church girl. I was like, hey, church girl, what are you doing? Right? So that became an ongoing joke. And this is the powerful thing about callback humor and teasing, is that once you start categorizing someone a certain way, if anything comes up later on that's relative to it or the opposite of it, you could still give them shit. It doesn't even need to be fully aligned. So anytime she did something good or bad, I was able to use the callback humor, because if she did something good, it's like, obviously, church girl. If she did something bad, I was like, whoa, church girl. Okay, so these are concepts that you could utilize in any of your callback humor. And that's why I also like to bring up the idea that girls are feisty, girls are cocky, girls are shit talkers. Because if I'm already being playful with them and they engage, naturally they're going to be a little feisty. Naturally they're going to maybe be a little cocky. Naturally they're going to be a little bit shit talking. Right? So I like to use these things to provoke them a little bit. And then these are easy concepts that you could then later on use callback humor to. Because anytime they do something that's like cocky or feisty or shit talking, I can call them out on it. Or anytime they do something in the opposite manner, I can also be like pleasantly surprised because it's out of character for them. All right, and this is how you can create ongoing jokes and teases throughout the night. And then the beautiful thing about this, the more powerful thing that I like about this, is that you can take these jokes and take these teases and you can stack them into push-pulls while you're escalating, while you're displaying verbal intent. You display verbal intent, but the tease, but the shit talking, but the negative thing about her. Or you do a physical escalation while telling her the negative verbal thing. Okay, so these are really powerful concepts as well. So one final example, there was a girl, it was actually earlier on today. I was at the bar, it was Sunday, we went out just for a little bit, interacting, sober day, by the way, just fucking chilling out. Went out to get like 45 minutes of socializing in for the day. And there was one girl who was there, she was like an Italian girl. And at some point she was actually like giving me a lot of shit, I noticed. It was probably because like there was a good vibe going on. I actually wasn't even teasing her that much, but I noticed she was giving a little bit of sassiness to me, or a little bit of teasing, right? And at some point I mentioned it to her, and then at some point she did it again. And while we were holding really good eye contact, I got in really close to her. I said, you know what? I moved in really close. I put my finger like on her right here, kind of like on her upper chest, while I was smiling, and I leaned in, and then I turned over to her ear. I said, you're a fucking shit talker. Okay, but I did it in a super, super flirty way, super flirtatious way. Touched her, not on her boob, but like here, super smiling, leaned in as we were squared up, And then obviously at some point I turned off to the side a little bit, and then very like soft and almost whispering in her voice, I hit her with a negative verbal. You're a fucking shit talker. So that's how you can flirt and get into good emotional back and forth banter and even get the girl comfortable around you and escalating while still teasing her and creating callback humor. And this is such a powerful tool, guys, because you could utilize this the next time you meet the girl, if the interaction dies out, and then later on you reopen with the callback humor or the teasing or the nickname, or if you get her number and you guys make plans, you could text her and you reopen the conversations like, hey, is this the cute shit talker from earlier? Or hey shit talker, or it doesn't need to be shit talker obviously, but whatever you were giving the girl shit about, or whatever her nickname is, or church girl, or feisty face, or whatever you want to call her, it's great ways to create that emotion, to re-trigger that emotion when you re-engage the interaction, whether it's later on in the night or whether it's through text, or maybe you even wait till the next time you see her in person to bring it up again. It's like ongoing jokes, and again, that's just gonna create stronger rapport, stronger connection, create that inside joke between you guys, get you into more playful back and forth banter, and also allow you to get closer, to start escalating, and transition that into flirting and displaying more intent, and then ultimately that's gonna create higher and higher levels of escalation later on. Okay, so that's how it's done. That's how you guys can start utilizing teasing and callback humor to create a really powerful result. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you wanna learn more about this stuff, okay, if you wanna actually work with me personally, where I break down your interactions, I break down your communication, your game, help you get to a really high level to the point where you can get the dating life of your dreams, all you have to do is click the link in the description, okay? Fill out the application, it takes less than 1 minute. Fill out that application, and then I'm gonna be reaching out to you personally. Okay, we'll set up a Zoom call, we'll break down where you're at, discuss all the details about what it would look like to work with me personally. That's it for this call, guys. I'll see you in the next video. Coach Kyle, signing out.